A Florida lawmaker is responding to an I-team investigation that uncovered a gaping hole in how police report and track missing people here in Florida. And tonight, the solution that nearly a dozen other states have started using, now being considered if it becomes law in our state as well. Our Katie LaGrone has all of the new developments.
I think it should certainly be mandated.
Florida Representative Omari Hardy wants Florida to do more to find missing people.
If there's a tool that we should be using, but that for some reason we're not here in the state of Florida, then we need to address that because when someone goes missing, it's like a piece of your heart is gone.
Hardy is talking about this, the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, also known as NamUs. It's a federally funded online database for missing and unidentified persons in the U.S. that lets users post pictures, track DNA, and can be accessed by anyone at any time, including the public. But experts say police as a whole aren't using it.
Why it's not mandatory, I don't know. That's a great question. It should be.
It's a problem we first told you about last month. For years, leading forensic anthropologist Dr. Erin Kimmerly has been pushing to get NamUs on law enforcement's radar nationwide, since current state and national databases they currently report to, she says, are often inaccurate, out of date, and can't be viewed by the public.
It's archaic and it's frustrating and it's timely and things just don't get solved. That's just the bottom line. It doesn't work.
Kimmerly and several cold case investigators are now advocating states pass laws requiring law enforcement use NamUs. Nearly a dozen states, including New York and California, have already bought in.
It's a win-win situation. This is not a bipartisan issue.
But Florida remains among the majority that still give police here the option to report cases to this national clearinghouse. Investigators who do use it rave about.
That's millions of people who can view that and look for that individual and doing the work for me. So I'm only going to benefit by them calling up and saying, hey, I saw that man or that woman, or I know what happened to them.
In a series of recent tweets, Gabby Petito's father also weighed in, advising people contact their legislators to get a NamUs law on the books. In Florida, Hardy says it will be a matter of political will.
Why not? Why wouldn't there be the political will? It's already created. It's already funded. The only requirement is use it.
There are some folks in the legislature who want to tell local governments and local government agencies how to do everything, unless we're talking about policing agencies, unless we're talking about law enforcement agencies.
For weeks, we've been contacting lawmakers in both the Florida House and Senate to see if this is an issue they would be willing to pick up and see through. So far, we've heard nothing back. Representative Hardy will not be here through the entire session since he's running for Congress.
Gabby Petito case brought nationwide attention to missing people throughout the United States. But tonight, our I-team has discovered a gaping hole in how police report missing people and continue to track them. The result is a hodgepodge of disconnected databases that are often inaccurate and out of date. Investigative journalist Katie LaGrone tonight with the solution some states have already adopted and why Florida is not one of them.
It'll be 11 years.
October 14th.
Yes.
11 years, almost to the day, since Janie Duval del Rosario has seen her daughter.
I am living day by day.
Jacinia was 19 years old when she went missing from the boardwalk in Hollywood Beach. According to her mom, she told cousins she was going for ice cream.
It's like the earth opened up and swallowed her alive.
Jacinia's case has been cold ever since. Her name posted in a number of databases for missing people nationwide, including this one, the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, also known as NamUs. It's a federally funded online database for missing, unidentified, or unclaimed persons in the U.S., and often described by cold case experts as law enforcement's most effective and accurate missing persons database. The problem?
People just aren't using it.
Dr. Erin Kimmerly is a leading expert on cold cases and runs a forensic institute at the University of South Florida.
Why it's not mandatory, I don't know. That's a great question. It should be.
In an industry plagued by high turnover, for years she's been pushing states to require law enforcement use NamUs as its central database to report the nearly 100,000 people who remain missing in the U.S. Unlike national and state databases law enforcement is currently required to report to, this system lets users post pictures, track DNA, and it can be accessed by anyone at any time, including the public, who often hold the keys to unlocking cold case mysteries.
It is huge, and a lot of cases get solved that way because somebody sees something and recognizes, an Afghan blanket or a sweater.
To date, 10 states, including New York and California, have passed laws mandating law enforcement use NamUs, while legislation is swiftly moving through Texas and Pennsylvania. Florida remains among the majority of U.S. states that make reporting to NamUs voluntary for law enforcement.
It's a win-win situation. This is not a bipartisan issue.
Tom McAndrew is an investigator for the Pennsylvania State Police and helped champion the bill that's about to become state law there.
There are people at home, they love true crime stories, they love cold case stories. They can go online and work that case themselves and provide that tip to police, and it's work.
Why wouldn't a law enforcement agency use NamUs?
I don't know.
Detective George Lloydgren works cold cases for the Hernando County Sheriff's Department near Tampa, where NamUs has proven to be so much of a success. It's now part of the agency's standard operating procedure when reporting missing person cases.
That's millions of people who can view that and look for that individual and doing the work for me. So I'm only going to benefit by them calling up and saying, hey, I saw that man or that woman, or I know what happened to them.
With an estimated several thousand people still missing and unidentified in the Sunshine State, Lloydgren agrees it's time Florida make NamUs a requirement for law enforcement here.
It's a no-lose situation. It doesn't take that long to input the data, and you reach a wide audience. If it inevitably helps you to locate your missing person, that's what you want to do.
Do you think she's still alive?
For Janie Del Rosario, resolve has yet to come.
Yes. I pray.
Additional pictures posted on NamUs now show what her daughter may look like today.
Do you think you'll ever see her again?
Images the public can see, giving law enforcement and this grieving mother more eyes to find the daughter who went for ice cream and never returned.
We'll have her in prayer that she'll be found.
We had a tough time finding opposition to mandating this system. Critics in other states have pointed to money and resources, but the database is already created and federally funded. We've reached out to a number of lawmakers about making it law here. We'll let you know how they respond.
The ABC Action News I-team wanted to know more about the process behind how law enforcement agencies pursue missing person cases.
Investigator Katie LaGrone dives deeper into why some cases seem to get more immediate attention than others.
Why do you think all of this is happening?
Nearly 20 days after Gabby Petito was first reported missing by her parents, the massive manhunt for her fiancé remains a top priority for hundreds of local, state, and federal officers, searching by air, land, and water for the man they believe knows the how and why this 22-year-old blogger
here in the tent
was killed. It's the kind of 24-hour detective work leaving other families, especially minorities, wondering why their missing loved one isn't getting the same priority treatment, too.
The whole situation is sad, and I feel sorry for her family. But it's like, when we need help, why can't we get the same help?
It's been 2.5 years since Simone Hicks saw her cousin. Kiana Cole went missing in Hernando County under suspicious circumstances the night before she was scheduled to give a deposition in an attempted murder case.
It's been hard because we have no answers whatsoever.
While the case received lots of attention early on, Hicks is concerned her cousin's case is now falling through the cracks. A spokesperson with the Hernando County Sheriff's Office wouldn't comment, stating the case remains open, but said the office does not prioritize missing person cases, as every case is a high priority.
If I had a loved one gone missing, if they're not working on it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm not happy about it.
Sheriff Walt McNeil leads the Leon County Sheriff's Office, where since 2016, they've received 905 missing person reports, 882, or more than 97% of them, cleared immediately. It's the reality of most missing person cases, forcing law enforcement to juggle time and commitment with resources they don't always have.
You have so many resources depending on what city you're in. And so it becomes a resource issue.
McNeil, who also serves on a state advisory board for missing and endangered people, says cases involving children and the elderly often get more rapid responses with a media blitz, while other cases depend on how much information is provided, how much danger the person missing may be facing, and how much time has gone by since they were last seen.
The first 24 hours, first 72 hours are critical. And missing persons cases, in some cases, you don't even find out that the person has been the victim of a crime until 24 hours or 48 hours have passed. And so you're starting from scratch.
There's huge variation, and we see that even in how agencies respond to their long-term missing person cases, right? Their cold cases. They're not always, or in fact rarely, investigated the way we would hope.
USF's Dr. Aaron Kimmerell leads a forensic institute that helps law enforcement agencies solve cold and missing person cases.
The idea is to share these stories and faces in hopes somebody recognizes them.
In Florida, there are currently more than 1,500 missing people, according to the National and State Crime Information Center, with some missing since the 1960s. Kimmerell says it's often up to families to keep missing person cases a law enforcement priority.
The majority probably prioritize based on if a new lead comes in or the family that calls the most, wherever the pressure is.
While agencies can ask the state for help, Kimmerell says most don't. According to Florida's Department of Law Enforcement, they will only assist when asked by a local agency to help. FDLE couldn't provide just how often they've been asked. We don't know if the state or any other agency was asked to assist in finding Kiana Cole.
When family needs peace, we need justice. LJ needs his mom back.
At the time she went missing, her son was 3. He's now 5 and missing Mom.
Mom, miss and I will pray.
Other big issues that can contribute to families not getting the attention they want from law enforcement: jurisdiction issues. Is the person known to have gone missing in one city versus another? And high turnover rate in law enforcement agencies. The bottom line we heard from everybody: families of missing people need to stay involved and keep pushing for answers. I'm Katie LaGrone.